We are here to talk about new ActiveCampaign segments. I am unbelievably excited about this, and you should be too. We are going to look at what happens with your old segments. Don't panic, they have not gone anywhere. We're going to get very excited about the new segment manager, which ActiveCampaign people have wanted for a very long time. It is finally here and it is good. And we're going to talk about some super exciting, time saving, stress busting, money saving things you can do with the new conditions. You can copy the conditions from your segments and use them anywhere in ActiveCampaign. We can do some brilliant new things in campaign sending. That, I think, is the most exciting thing. And I'm going to tell you how to convert your old segments to new segments. Dun, dun, dun. This is my great picture of how excited we all are about ActiveCampaign segments. I'm going to start off with some language change. The segments that you've been used to using, assuming you've been using segments to send your campaigns, those are now called old legacy list segments. So if you see that phrase knocking around in ActiveCampaign, it means the old segments that you've created up until this point in time when you're going to embrace the new segments. They are all still there. So every segment that you've made and named in ActiveCampaign is still there. I don't want you to panic because it kind of looks like they've vanished. They haven't. They're still there. You can still use them to send campaigns. They are still there in the lists area of your ActiveCampaign account. I'm going to show you how to convert them into new segments later in this video. So stick around. Those segments, the legacy list segments, are not going anywhere either. You don't need to panic. You can carry on using the segments you already have. They are still there. You can still use them and they're not going anywhere. However, you should get excited about new segments because they're really, really good. Now, one of the new things we get to play with is a segment manager. It's basically a place in ActiveCampaign to manage our segments. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, here it is. Okay. In the new segment manager, when you go in, you will see at the bottom of that, you'll see some AI generated segments. I'll talk about them again in a sec. And the top bit, you can see some new segments that I've created: weekly topic, marketing permitted, member updates. Just be warned, when you first look in here, you will not see your legacy list segments. You don't see them in there until you've done the conversion bit. Okay. But don't panic because they're all still there in your account. Okay. Great. So the segment manager gives us a place where we can see our segments easily. Imagine such a thing. We can sort them out. We can search. We can choose to edit the conditions of a segment, and we can find it very easily to do that. I mean, that alone is a revelation, right? And you can delete segments that you don't want to use anymore really easily. It's so, so good. I'm really, really excited for this. Here's the great bit. You can see those numbers there. You can see how many contacts are in a segment at a point in time. And we can see how many of them are on a list, as opposed to how many just meet all of the conditions. It's super powerful. It's really, really, really good. You will find it in the contacts area of your account. And the main thing I want to tell you today, two things. Number one, don't panic. Your legacy list segments are still there in your account and they're really easy to move over. I'm going to show you how to do that. And the second thing is that the AI generated segments, you can see one at the bottom there of that image. It's got a funny little star. Boom. I've got to say, I found some bugs in them today. So personally, I would not be touching those AI segments until they are more mature and they've had a chance to shoot down the bugs that they find. Okay. Next thing. Oh, and by the way, in case you're wondering who the heck I am and why I'm here talking to you about ActiveCampaign, this is me. Kay, I'm Kay Peacey, otherwise known as Auntie Kay, because I like to look after ActiveCampaign people. I am so obsessed with ActiveCampaign that I'm actually on their customer advisory board. And I'm going to claim some credit here because I had a lot to do with shaping this new segments experience, because the ActiveCampaign asked the advisory board, what should this be like? What do we need in segments that we've never had? Well, we'd like a segment manager. We'd like to be able to see how many there are. We want to be able to edit them easily. And oh my goodness, AC have really delivered on this. Subscribe to this channel right now, especially if you are an ActiveCampaign user. We talk a lot about email strategy in general as well. This one is all about ActiveCampaign. Hit subscribe. On to the next point. We have got a new toy in segments, which is that we can copy very easily a set of conditions that we've used to make one segment. We can use it to do other things in other places in ActiveCampaign. You will see an option now to use the conditions from that saved segment. So let's say you've got some combination, like I just picked one of mine, which is I quite often need to pick out everyone who's got either my Academy subscriber tag or a nominee tag. Okay, I use that all the time. I can now very quickly pull a set of conditions into a wait step, a goal, an if else condition. You can use them all over ActiveCampaign in the conditions editor. So it's like having a saved set of recipes of condition sets that you want to be able to use. That one thing is going to save so much time. And the more complex your ActiveCampaign account is, and the more automation you do, the more time this is going to save you. I cannot speak highly enough about this. It is incredible. Do approach with caution while it's in early stages and check your conditions, because there is a lot of subtlety in there around the way that ands and ors interact with each other. But hit the comments, tell me what you're loving about this, because this blows me away. It's going to save us so much time. So effectively, you can now copy a segment and do a variation of it anywhere across ActiveCampaign. Next up, we have differences to campaign sending. Oh my goodness, we have got some stellar new toys to play with in here. And I'm also going to hit up, while we're here, remember your old segments are called Legacy List. They are still available in here. It kind of doesn't look like it, but they are. You see where it says segments? If you click through on that bit, there's an option at the top that says Legacy List Segments. Type to search. If you start typing the name of any of your existing segments, they're going to come up in there so you can use them to send a campaign. So they haven't gone anywhere. You've still got them. So in our recipient selection bit in the campaign sender, we can choose to send to everyone who's active on a list. We can choose to send to any legacy list segment that we already have in the account, or any of the new segments that we've created, including those AI segments once they improve a little bit. And oh my gosh, see near the bottom there where it says tags, you can select a single tag in your account without having to make a segment. You don't need to make a segment. If you just want to send to everyone who is on your main list, who has the tag registered for webinar, you don't even need to make a segment for that anymore. You can just pick the tag. I could cry with happiness about this, because we've had to create so many segments over the years just to be able to identify a single tag and say, I want to send it to everyone who has this tag, who's on this list. That's now built in to the campaign sending. Boom. What a huge win. And the gifts continue, because right on the bottom there, you'll see send using custom conditions. Now, what that means is you can choose to start from scratch and create a brand new set of conditions, or you can do that copy conditions thing and pull in a set of conditions that you know is nearly what you want, but you need to tweak it a bit just this one time. You don't have to save it as a named segment. I think of it as an ad hoc send. Okay, so it's like a one-time bunch of people you need to identify. They're kind of like this segment that you normally send to, but there's a little variation. So maybe you need to add an extra tag in there or something. They're like one-time spontaneous sends, and you don't have to create a segment for them anymore. You can just do a one-time custom condition send. So happy about this. And again, you can use an existing segment, one of your new segments, you can pull in the conditions from that and just tweak them. So we've got duplicate and tweak for segment conditions. Wow. You can see how happy I am about this. I know I'm a bit overexcited. Now, I need to talk to you about how to move your legacy list segments over to become new segments so that you can see them in the segment manager and use them more easily. In your old segments, which, by the way, you can find via lists, it's on a drop-down arrow under advanced settings. When you are looking at the conditions of one of your old legacy list segments, look for the big blue button at the top right that says convert to segment. What it actually means, by the way, is create a new segment using these conditions. It's not going to convert it. The old one's still going to be there exactly the same. When you click the blue button, it makes you a new segment, and it assumes that you want to give it the exact same name. I'd be a little bit careful with that, because if you've got two segments, an old legacy list one and a new one with the exact same name, I just think that's asking for trouble. So personally, I'm hitting the convert button, and then I'm renaming and saving my old legacy list segment with the word old on the front of it. Okay, really simple. And know that once you've finished converting any of your legacy list segments that you want to keep, and by the way, I know that some of you have got hundreds of these old legacy list segments in the account. You don't need to make all of those into new segments. There's a magic button in the account in your advanced settings that once you're done rescuing the legacy ones that you do want to keep using, you can then hide all of the things to do with the legacy list segments. They're actually kind of still there, but it hides them behind the scenes. So they just vanish from your account. And it's like a weight going off you. If you have got hundreds of segments in your account called segment of blah, blah, blah campaign name, I know you've probably got a stack of them and they've been stressing you out. You don't need to worry about them anymore. Just rescue the ones you want, let the others go, and just hit the hide button. Now, the conversion thing, it's going to be time consuming unless you have some documentation and a method to get this done. I can help you with that. In the ActiveCampaign Academy at slickbusiness.co/learn. And then you can just move on and forget about the old way because you're going to be moved into the new way so quickly. Totally worth joining for that. I would love to see you in the Academy for this. I'm so excited for this new segments experience for all of you. It is genuinely time-saving, stress-busting. It's going to make it easier to make money in there because we can reuse and copy our condition sets. Campaign sending just got a ton easier in terms of defining exactly who you send to. I want you to hit subscribe to this channel. I am going to be updating with more ActiveCampaign news, improvements and features, and how to use email and automation strategically to grow your business and make more money, which is ultimately what we are all here for you. Keep watching and I will see you in the next video. Take care, guys.